If we're gonna stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course, that's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder. Which we don't. It's attracted the attention of the entire country, really. I somehow doubt that, but if we were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, then we would be humiliated. Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal. Am I really sure about this? A bet's only good when your life's the ante. Mr. Wright, I believe in you. You do? I don't believe in myself. So please, I'm begging you. Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Phoenix. What was that? Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. That voice, it sounds like Mia, my mentor. Your Honor, the defense requires an immediate recess. Huh. So that's your answer, huh? So what? Very well, I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke at me to the stand. Yes, Your Honor. October 14th, 11:58 a.m. You again. He. Well, Sir Detective Atme. Heh. I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective Atme, you were the one who... I love the other judge. He looks just like the other judge, but younger.
That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant Luke Atme.
Hold it! Wait, don't hand down your verdict yet, please. Well, well, Sir Lawyer. Welcome to my courtroom.
Who's this hoser, eh?
My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law. And I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke Atme. Accusation? You accuse Mask Damask? That man is not Mask Damask. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? Oh, God. To be continued. Do. Alright. Let's do this. Forward 2, baby. Act 4, Scene 2. Act 4, Part 2. Whatever the fuck. I don't care. My sis? I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. Oh, I always forget that they're sisters. She's still alive inside your heart. She's alive inside you, too. Oh, Miss Delight. What a delight to see you. That detective is the real killer. That's what we're gonna find out. He's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atme want to kill Kane Bullard? Probably because of his connection to Ron. It's gonna play into it somehow.
Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atme, please take the stand.
Well, well, how do you do, Sir Lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly.
I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet, not when it would have given you your perfect alibi, an alibi by the name of Mask Damask.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid even the great Luke Atme has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could know what's been going on in here.
You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask Damask.
Indeed, it's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example.
So you continue to insist that you are in fact Mask Damask. We just proved that he was Mask to Mask. So now we gotta unprove it? Oh, what is this trial? What is this trial? It's only case 2. It's only gonna get crazier from here.
One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge.
So I mixed some Nescafe instant coffee with some Swiss Miss hot cocoa, and it's 11:15 a.m. I took, I guess that must have been an hour break from recording.
As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. Prosecute me all you like.
The alibi. Alimone. I was stealing the urn as Mask to Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Mask to Mask was the same time as the murder. So we have to prove that that's not him. Because... So it's a third person? I'm so confused. Watch it be... It's Desiree in that costume, in that photo. Wouldn't that be the craziest twist in this whole trial? The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. Yeah, well... Okay, Spamton, let's fucking do this. I was stealing the urn as Mask to Mask. So this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. Yes, sirree Bob, and the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That's why I'm called Mask to Mask. But conveniently, that also means that there is no way to tell who this really is. What do you mean?
Objection!
I love how pleasant Godot's objection is. This man is not in fact Luke at me. Like, I would let Godot read me a bedtime story with that nice, like, warm baritone. Whatever, I should shut up. Are you saying I, Lone Wolf Luke, more like Cool Hand Luke, had an accomplice? I'm sure you did. And I bet... So it can't be Ron, because I was about to say his accomplice is Ron. But that can't be right. So that leaves either this Desiree or Adrian. There's a chance that it's Adrian. It's not. He's gonna roast us like his coffee beans. That's quite the prank you're trying to pull. Do you have any evidence that this person is in fact the accomplice? The aura. Alright. I jumped the gun on that one. Let me just save. And I'm gonna try what happens if I say... Ron, and then I'm gonna say Desiree. Alright, well let's move on past that, because we probably don't have any idea who the accomplice is yet, and we don't have evidence to prove it. But I have a feeling that Adrian must be connected in some way. You couldn't just do both jobs at once? You truly are evil. Yes, evil is what I am. Hey Nick, isn't there something odd about this? He was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona. Huh. So by photograph, you mean this. That proves he committed the crime. It's really odd. You say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose. He was caught by the very camera that he had set up. We all have days like that. It turned out that there was no such thing as the perfect crime after all. Life truly is an ironic thing, a sad blue melody. There's gotta be something phony in that photo. I guess. Why were there two sets of the costume anyway? You think he altered the time? Well, no, I'm not saying that necessarily. I don't think you could do that. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Exactly, so this alibi is false? It has to be. I'm not really spotting anything unusual. Either the mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo... Oh! Now you're getting somewhere. Well, that backs up my theory that Adrian is involved, because Adrian was managing the exhibit, so she could have... I don't know. Okay, so let's talk more about this photograph. Look at this photograph. Now I'm just embarrassed. Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's gotta be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? Yeah? Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Over here, where this pink paint is, there's no statue. The funny part is right here. Why, this is a blood stain. Blood. Now this case is getting in, and that stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint, and peach colored at the... From blood to peaches. Peaches aren't pink, though. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse. It turns out something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. What is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? Ta-da! Yeah, peaches aren't pink. Peaches are like kind of like a light orange. Like a blushing orange. Obviously not like an orange color. Never mind. It arrived from the mountains. It came from the mountains by itself. I myself was there the night the theft took place and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there. But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Who are you calling an old bag? It's not Wendy old bag. This statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. I love how they're just ragging on the judge about his weight. Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is why. Who, what, when, where, and why? Who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime? Here we go. It was her. What do you think, Mr. Godot? A man should be able to answer his own questions. That's what I think. Right now, I'm busy trying to come up with two answers of my own. Why is coffee black and why is it bitter? Was I right or wrong? What? I've messed up. Think about why the statue was moved. I had every reason to say it was Adrian. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke Atme. Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue. I don't know. What reason did the witness have to move that statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. Look at me. You pretend to be Mask Damask to create an alibi to show you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would have exposed by, like, cheap film at a drugstore. That's why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture... the time? Maybe? Naturally, the lie in this photo is the timestamp. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atme went to KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Taylor at this time. Okay, well now things are starting to make sense. Because it definitely didn't make sense with trying to believe that both of these things happened at the same time. The statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke Atme had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim, and so in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. So, on the day of the crime, Mr. Atme must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. What was that simile? That was the most ridiculous simile I've heard since my days of middle school, having to write English assignments. Hot Jones. Gua. Why did he just say gua? Guacamole? Mr. Atme, is this true? One moment, Your Honor, have you forgotten this? That's the data for the Batesman warehouse computer. The camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. It's true that this camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program that used to manage the data was yours. Huh? What? I don't even understand the logic of that. I was trying to. Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down. Put the cookie down! I've promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial, which means I'm still good to the last drop. However, the defense has a very good point. A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. He's got his points mixed up with other points. So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time. Look at this photograph. That's a very interesting idea, however. There's one point that can't be denied, which is that it's only a possibility. Amigo. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. What are your dreams, Godot? Hey, Mr. Damask. Yeah? If there's no funny business in your actions as Mask Damask, there should be no problem with telling us your strategy, so let's hear us. Let's hear it. What's your plan, man? What's your plan? What's the big idea? What's the plan, man? I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. Zvari was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time? Zvari. Very well, then. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. The Sacred Urn Heist. I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and Zvari, it was then sent to the warehouse. Okay, I forgot. I need to press everything. You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews. Indeed, it seemed that they had heard of my Zvarkling reputation. I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. You'd better watch out too, Maya. You mean this box? Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn, and she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me. Interesting new tidbit. You were unable to see the urn until the day of the crime. Indeed, you may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, I, Luke Atme, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. So you sent your card 10 days beforehand, intending to steal it. That's right, that is without a doubt my calling card. Of course, because Atme knew about the emblem, which is also on the hot air balloon. In their house. So then you handled security by yourself. There are many different treasures. For a period of 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. 1 a.m. on October 12th. And this is the photo that proves that, huh? Indeed, to be honest, even if a photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much. Hey Nick, if this photo is a fake, Detective Atme might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken. That's true. You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. I need to take a good hard look at the court record. Not a lot to go on, is there? That detective's been covering his tracks. There's only one thing we need to prove in this cross-examination. That he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime. How do we do that? There's one thing Atme stated very clearly, that he had never seen the urn before he stole it. I got it. I got it. Mask-to-mask calling card says something specifically about a speckled urn. Oh god. You remember I pointed that out? If that's the thing, if that's it, I'm gonna feel so smart. If that's the thing, I'm gonna feel so smart. Oh my god, it is. Mr. Atme, if you really are mask to mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course! Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from that calling card. Take good care of the speckled urn. Remember I pointed that out before, and it's finally coming up. I feel so vindicated. Surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true, but so what? Truth be told, there is no way that Mask to Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains, and these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. You can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Wagga wagga wagga. I didn't even have time to read that.